Alright YouTubers, what's going on? Doing a new video today. We're doing a little sneak peek today at two of the new zero tolerance models for 2016s that actually are not out yet. Kai actually kindly sent these to me for a video preview of these knives. Now there's been some at SHOT Show, but you know they're always kind of from a distance and there's a lot of hustle and bustle going around, so you can get I'm going to give you a really good look at these and kind of go into a little more detail. Now these are test models, they are not final production pieces. There will be not very many differences, and I'll kind of go over the differences. So let's start with the 0220. This is the Jens Anso, excuse me, collaboration with ZT. It has a flipper mechanism with a super strong detent. They call that #horsepower. I can see why, because they fly out of there. It's on their KVT bearing system, so it's very smooth. You've got your ZT medallion right here, which I think is a really cool touch with a little blue anodization there. Then you have it just pops orange backspacer. And this lanyard hole, I thought I wasn't going to like at first. It actually doesn't bother you at all. It doesn't even, when you have the knife in hand, you don't even feel it at all. So really cool touches of color, though. I really like how ZT is doing that this year. You kind of got your standard deep carry clip here. Some people hate them, some people love them. I'm sure there'll be some custom options out there if you don't like it. They work really well though, and that's kind of what's important about a pocket clip. So, and it doesn't create any kind of hot spots on the knife. Titanium frame lock with your insert. Again, nice flipper on that. Stonewash blade. This is a completely sterile blade on this side, and on this side you have the model number, your S35VN, and this is number 6. So this is one of the first ones produced. A really heavy stonewash on the blade, which I really dig. That looks really good. S35 is kind of been their staple on their ZT knives, this and 204P, and I've been really happy with their S35. It's kept great edge retention for me, so, and it's pretty easy to touch up and sharpen as well. Some good centering. That orange just pops. I love it. Just jumps out at you. Super smooth. Great flipping action, as with all ZT knives. They've just kind of perfected those detents on these knives. So these are not quite in production. They're coming very soon. They will be available shortly. When I say shortly, I don't really know a time frame. I wasn't told one, but I know that they're just finishing some final touches on these. So your blade length is 3.5 inches on this. It's 4.9 inches closed, so it's a pretty good sized knife. It's almost 5 inches long, but it doesn't feel terribly big in the hand. Its ergonomics are fantastic. Again, I have medium sized hands. And there's kind of a picture there to show you, or a view to show you how much handle I have laying off. So quite a bit, but it's, you know, super comfortable in the hand. Great design. Oh, your overall length is, your cloth length. No, we already went over that. Your overall length is 8.4 inches. The backspacer is made out of aluminum, not titanium, so it's lighter, and it has that brilliant orange, which is, you can't really get that with titanium. So. And the weight is 6.2 ounces. I'm going to confirm that on my scale, because some of these weights have come in a little less on some of these knives. So unless my scale here is going out of batteries, which it could, you know, very possibly be. Oh, 6.2 on the dot. So that is confirmed weight for that. So it is a titanium frame lock, pretty beefy. It's got some pretty thick liners. Scales, not liners. Alright, let's get on our calipers here. So the width of this knife is just over a half an inch. 0.506 is your width. And that's at there's not really a widest point, it's all very linear. So it does have chamfered edges, which is nice right here. So it feels a little better in the hand. Your blade thickness, let's see. Your stock up here it's pretty thick stock too. .145 inches thick. Your edge is going to be, it's got a nice little recurve. It's a modified drop point with a little recurve on there. .044 inches, so it's pretty thin behind the edge. Should be a pretty good slicer. Let's just do a little paper. We don't do this all the time. I need to remember to get back in the habit of that. Oh yeah. Very sharp out of the box. Out of the for this test model. So I'm really impressed with the Janzanzo Zero Tolerance 0220. This was one of the ones I was most excited for. I think a lot of ZT knife lovers are going to want to get this one. It's, you know, a nice design by Janzanzo. It's nice to see him working with ZT. He's a really well-renowned custom knife maker, so it's really, really cool. I believe he's from the Netherlands. I could be mistaken, but I'm 90% sure of that. So you got a pretty good stonewashing on the we'll call it a light stonewashing on the frame. So pretty nice though. Very, very handsome, very attractive knife. So there's the 0220. Next up is the Zero Tolerance 0456. Now, Thomas Welk from Kershaw actually sent these to me and kind of gave me a little caveat. This one is, the pivot is not going to be this color. This is kind of like a rainbowish, which is actually pretty awesome. You can see it has some purple hues and the blue. They're still trying to finalize the color on these. That's why these haven't hit market yet. They should just be a pretty vibrant blue, kind of similar to the backspacer here, which is aluminum anodized. Then you have an aluminum anodized pocket clip in blue. So it's got a lot of pop of color. It's just, I love that they're doing that this year. The blue looks so great with the titanium. This one has the 3D machined, they call it a ray pattern on the scale, so you can see that. Let's get some more detail here. So this one does have some 3D machining. So these are going to take a little bit longer. This one's a little bit more expensive. This is, I think, MSRP is $300 on this. I bet it comes to market around $280-ish. This has 204P steel, so it does have a nicer steel. It is a Dmitry Sienkiewicz design. ZT's done really well with their Sienkiewicz designs. The 0450 and 0450 carbon fiber, the 452, and your oh man, the name's escaping me. The limited production Sienkiewicz. For some reason, that model has completely escaped my mind. So I think 0454 is what it is. So on the Sienkiewicz here, you have a kind of a modified Wharncliffe style blade. Now I think this knife is a little deceiving in pictures. I was so glad to get this in hand first, just to see what it's like, because it looked small. The blade length is 3.25 inches, and it's 4.5 inches closed. But for some reason, it just kind of like made me think like, man, this is going to be a stubby handle. You're going to have a hard time getting all four fingers. That is not the case. I mean, again, I have medium-sized hands, and as you can see, I can get all four fingers with a little spare on there. This really, really good ergonomics here, achieved by that little choil there. So it fits in your hand, and it's perfect. It feels so nice in your hand, and there's no hot spots, there's no awkwardness, chamfered edges as well, and it just feels great in the hand. I'm pretty excited about this one. I think this is the one I was most excited about. I love the Wharncliffe style blade. It's got a nice swedge up here too, which looks really attractive on this knife. Kind of has a similar blade shape to the 777 and the 770 series. Very, very similar. But they have this added this nice big swedge here. You got satin grinds with stonewash flats, which looks really, really attractive. Always a big fan of that. This one, like I said, again, is in 204p. So you just have your ZT logo on this side. Then you have your Sienkiewicz design 0456, your Kai USA 204p, and this is serial number 18 on this one. Those grind lines, those are fantastic. That blue, just bam, it just goes so well with this knife. Now this will take if you didn't like the blue clip or you wanted a deep carry, this is like a standard from an 0550 or 560 series knife. That will fit right there just fine. Just gonna get an idea. Be a little shorter on the clip, and it'll give you deep carry, but it will not have that awesome blue. So I think I would just stick with the blue because it looks fantastic. That and that backspacer, guys, just pops. It's just beautiful. These are such awesome designs this year, and it's just great to see new things come out of ZT that, you know, just are really attractive. They're completely different from last year's models, but using the same designers except for adding Janzanzo. So exceptional. The weight on this one is listed at 6.6 ounces, so it's a little thick. It's a thicker knife. Let's go ahead and see if we can get you a measurement here. See, and it's actually a little, well, that's because of the radius right here, so that's going to be a little deceptive. So let's try to get at the widest point, which would be right there, and that's 0.646. But like I said, it's radiused up here because how the scales are machined, that it's going to give you a little bit thinner feel right here. Plus you have your chamfered edges as well. So really like how they did that. It's not just a big tank, which it could have been, you know, if they hadn't done that. Blade stock, I mean, it tapers quite a bit because of that swedge. So 0.15 there, and as it tapers down to 0.127 towards the tip. Kind of a reverse Tanto, we might even call it. More of a Wharncliffe, I think, but it could be called either way. So really just a gorgeous blade, guys. I'm super excited for these to hit the market. I'm extremely thankful for ZT for giving me the opportunity to review these and check these out before they hit the streets. Really excited. It definitely kind of made my day when Thomas reached out to me on USN forum and said, hey, I'm going to send you these to do a video on, and that was pretty awesome. So I got to send them back. Unfortunately, these aren't mine to keep. Wish they were. He did mention on this one that the detent wasn't as strong as it will be from the factory, but it's plenty. I mean, it's good. Like, it's solid. It's definitely not as strong as the 0220, but it's still got a perfect flipping action. Nice and buttery smooth. Let's get this one out and do a little cut. Oh yeah, it slices actually pretty well. So it's going to be a really good EDC blade. Great utility style blade. Man, I just love the way it feels in hand. It's perfect. It feels very stout in your hand. It feels, you know, like it's a heavier knife, which, you know, we're going to do the weight here. It is a little bit heavier, but it feels so substantial in your hand, and it's just a good size. I mean, see, in the reverse grip, I did notice that this part of the handle here does kind of create an awkward, just right when you put your hand right there, it just feels a little awkward in your hand. It's not a hot spot. It just doesn't feel as ergonomic, but I don't typically, you know, hold my knives like these. This is definitely more of a, you know, stance, or not stance, a hold I'm going to use on this knife, and it's perfect. I mean, it's incredible. No jimping up here on the blades on either knives, which some people may not like. It doesn't bother me in one bit, so no big deal. Also on KVT bearings, like I said, the higher premium 204P steel. Pocket clip is reversible, left to right hand carry. It is also on the 0220, but you'd be covering up that sweet ZT medallion, so, you know, if you're a lefty, I guess you have to live with that. So these should be out, like I said, pretty soon once they get this coating perfected, but that blue pivot is just so awesome. And it's just, you know, it's a very decorative pivot. It's just a nice custom touch to the knife. This knife is based on the Sienkiewicz custom knife called the Pull. So I've actually never seen that one. I follow Dmitry Sienkiewicz on Instagram. I haven't seen that model before, so that's pretty exciting to see this new oops, bumping the camera, new model out there. Here's just a little side-by-side comparison of these two. So you get about a 1/4 inch more blade on the 0220, but you're also getting quite a bit longer handle. So you know, above the two, I mean, I'm gonna get both. There's no doubt in my mind. But of the two, I think I like the Sienkiewicz just a tad better, just for the size. Blade to handle ratio is a little better on that. Not a big deal. Let's weigh that sucker. They have it listed as 6.7 ounces, which I can't imagine. It doesn't 6.6 ounces. Excuse me. It doesn't feel that hefty. See, and I've got it coming in at 6.2. Let's do another. So both of the 456, and that's coming at 6.1 now. Let's go ahead and let's get one more reading. I just want to make sure. That's a pretty big, that's almost a ½ an ounce difference. So let's make sure that's right. 6.2. So I've got it at 6.2, guys. And honestly, they feel the same weight. One of them doesn't feel heavier than the other to me. And the Anzo came in at 6.2 and is listed as 6.2 on their site. So this one's a little lighter than it sounds like, or than it's portrayed to be on their on Kai's on the ZT page. So just watch this video and you'll know, okay, you're going to save a little bit. If that's going to be a big, you know, it's nice to know that it's a little bit lighter than what's advertised. Really like the gear pattern backspacer on that one. Just look at those two. That looks great together. A little orange, a little blue. Beautiful. Man. I also want to thank Thomas for sending me this as kind of a little thank you. He sent me this ZT pen. It is their 10th anniversary pen. These are not for sale unless you can find one on the secondary market. Kind of a limited thing they did for SHOT Show this year. So, look at this baby. Bam. It's nice and blue. Beautiful. I'll do a separate review on that pen. I don't want to take up too much time, but I want to thank him for... and this one does not actually have the the glass breaker tip, I noticed, like the other ones do. So that's okay. So it's an awesome gift. Thanks again, Thomas and ZT, for sending me these knives for review, guys. That's going to wrap up the video. Any questions or comments, leave them down below. We'll see you on the next one.